And so, beloved masters, here we are in times of emotional shift, of mental reconstruction, of physical shifts and changes that are so absolutely out of the realms of what humanity has known. And compassion is a virtue that allows you to have your experiences without measuring, without judgment, with kindness that supports rather than enables weakness. And judgments very often point to the fact that if you are changing, if you are not moving as you always have, if you are not strong, then there's something wrong with you. And it is nothing is wrong with you. You are becoming more. You are becoming greater. The things that can frighten you are all, dearly beloved masters, potentially points of growth. And it is that as you allow, huge word, allow yourself to feel compassion, it begins to really open the connections to your sacred self, into your soul center, into the oneness of belonging. There is a huge discovery going on the planet. Almost as though the logical mind woke up and said, there are people that are lonely. I'm lonely, the people say. I feel so alone in a crowd. I feel as though I don't belong, and you hear that so much with youth especially. I just don't belong. I'm weird. I'm strange. I am not like them. And as you compassionately embrace the understanding that that is the truth of you. You're not going to be exactly like them. In fact, you may not find anyone else that you are exactly like. And it's all right. As you can enjoy the differences rather than measure that if it's different, there really has to be something wrong with it. Compassion really puts you in touch energetically with the subtle nuances of energy that allow you to appreciate how others are feeling their life as you become progressively more and more familiar with how you are creating your life. How does the energy feel? The energy of expansion, of becoming more, of stepping outside of the confines of the limitations of illusion, and to be able to stretch, to stand tall and take a deep breath, rather than hunching down and attempting to hide, so that those who are different won't notice. Your sacred self is joyful. Your sacred self is powerful. Your sacred self is confident. So confident that it can love first you, and then in that loving connection, awareness, understanding, to energetically embrace others. So the compassion enlightens, enlivens, enhances your connection with your sacred self. Your sacred self. It isn't out there somewhere. And it certainly, beloved masters, is not in your cranial brain. Your sacred self abides in the soul center, and its awareness, its clarity, its vision, its grace, its gratitude, all provide a very solid foundation within you that feels complete, that feels centered, that feels comfortable. And the compassionate self isn't looking for bits of flaws in others to compare and criticize, to judge and minimize. The sacred self doesn't make excuses for you or anyone else. Masters, and we say this so much, because it is a vitally important point of mastery and understanding. Masters have no necessity to make excuses, to offer explanations of why I did that or they did that. And masters have no necessity to walk around on the defensive. The need to defend others very often is a need to protect something within self that perhaps you do not want to face, you do not want to accept. You would swear you aren't like that, you don't do that, and yet when you go on the defensive and you begin explaining why other people act the way they do, think the way they do, make the choices the way they do, pay very close attention to the energy, beloved masters, because if you quickly need to defend others, you require to pay some attention to your own energy, your own inner space. Are you hoping that if you defend them, they will believe that you're on their side, that you are supporting them, that you are there for them and they are not alone? But is that really the truth? Is that really honest? To be truthful with self is actually shining a light in the darkness of the illusion. It is changing the filters, adjusting the lenses so that you see things more clearly. And when you see, feel into yourself, it isn't scrutinizing to find shameful things. It isn't about the discovery of what's wrong with you. And it is not, beloved masters, to go on a witch hunt of what's wrong with others. Yes, a witch hunt. Finding what's wrong with those that you don't know, that you don't understand, that you don't recognize. The more you seek to discover, to recognize, to fortify compassion within yourself, it is almost as though the heart seed shines brighter and the sacred self pulses with amazing energy. And it isn't just white light. It is absolutely pulsing with color. White light is filled with all color. Darkness has a tendency to absorb color. That doesn't mean the colors aren't there. It simply means they have been taken in. But the more that you compassionately recognize your own sacred self, the more you energetically recognize, feel, experience the energetic growth that is going on within you. It is said that the balance in the body comes from the inner ear. But I can assure you, beloved masters, that the area of the pineal and pituitary also assists in what we might call higher frequency balance. So, feeling the balance in the center of your head, and then feeling the connected balance in the center of your body, in the area between the heart and the splenic chakra, that huge power center. And imagine that that is filled with light. Feel it, see it. You can't see it with your physical eyes, but you can energetically recognize it. It is the inner eye sees, the outer eye is still looking with hard vision to find things that are beginning to come very clear. And people are having experiences that the logical mind will say, I've never had that experience before. Because for such a very long time, everything has been limited, confined, restricted. We speak about the energetic tight wire that the ego has designed and then made thousands of rules and regulations about what is right and what is wrong, about what you can do appropriately and what you can't do, about manners, which are memory work. If you don't begin to eat your salad with the small fork on the right-hand side of your plate, what is wrong with you? How gauche? But if you are comfortable feeling balanced in love, if it is well, energetically, to be you. The choices that you make will not be the rebel stand. You cannot make me eat my salad with that small fork. I'll eat it with my knife if I want to. I'll eat it with a spoon if I want to. But when you find yourself, it is so easy to take the path of positive energy, to feel the love that guides you to the choices you make, that assists you to move a few more steps away with each event from the warrior stand that has created the loneliness and the feeling of I don't belong. The cruelty that pours forth when love is held away, when the heart is hardened, when the door is closed, when there is a refusal to make alignment with love. When love is a romantic notion held outside of self, something that people are seeking to find in someone else. And in that search, the agenda of separation, I'm looking for the one who will take care of me. I'm looking for the one that will make me happy. I'm looking for the one that will love me. Do you? Can you? Will you? Will you allow yourself to be well served? Will you allow love to connect so that your sacred self, in its own natural essence, basks in the light and the energy of being loved? Being cared for is not necessarily having someone have to do everything. Being cared for is the internal awareness, conscious awareness of the love. That you feel the love within you that supports you, surrounds, indwells you, and assures you again and again you are loved. Because that blessed assurance within you makes it safe for you to be open, receptive to allowing the love that others are willing to share. And the compassion doesn't measure how much love they've got. How alienating is it to believe that your love isn't good enough. How wounding is it to have someone else suggest that your love isn't enough? And the logical mind goes to critical judgment, and either there is the tendency to go on the defensive and tell that person a thing or two about what's really good about you, or the energy falls in a heap of victimization. I can't do anything right. I will never be loved. I will never be accepted. As you strengthen the virtue of compassion within yourself, it illuminates places where gifts and treasures are hidden, have been for some of them lifetimes. It allows you to see things about yourself, feel the truth about yourself, not for, I've got to get rid of this, oh, that's good, I'll keep that, but these things over here, I made a pile, these things I've got to get rid of. And how are you going to get rid of aspects and elements of yourself and stay whole? Logic. The reasonable, rational mind says, if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. If thy hand offend thee, cut it off. And it is, dearly beloved masters, God created you whole. And everything about you is a part of the whole. If you find things about you that you are offended by, if the mirrors around you offend you because they're not doing things the way you would, then it is to get very clear how you are in every element and aspect of your life has at some point come into being because of your choice. They made me do it is a little child's fear in dealing with the big people. I wouldn't do that. They made me do it. But to really feel the compassion allows you to feel the power within you, in your sacred self, to make choices that support tomorrow. What you think about yourself, feel about yourself, what you say about yourself, what you're affirming or discounting or judging in your life today will have a very definite effect on tomorrow. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. So, as you go through your day, it is to be honest and clear, compassionately. This is not about judgment. How am I creating tomorrow? Masters are present with themselves. They stay connected now. It's safe. It's clear. And there are not so many unpleasant surprises because the ego is very cunning about going behind your back and whispering to you, you should do this, you shouldn't do that, this is good, that's bad. I like that. I don't like that. And those choices create tomorrow.